crime spree right behind me.
Vice Mayor Strange, you'll address her properly.
You can kiss my foot.
Mr. Rico, you're out of order.
FBI, we are asking you to investigate this council. Please look into this council, how they award contracts, the bid process, how they use their positions to benefit their friends and themselves, how they use their positions to attack residents and critics and neighbors and business competition. FBI, will you please look into this?
And I welcome the FBI here. If you notice, Mr. Thompson with his plea for the FBI and his watchdog group, this city runs the cleanest in this whole county. I guarantee
He was served a federal subpoena this morning.
Did receive a subpoena this morning, and we're going to cooperate 100% with the subpoena. And
Most of you who were involved up here, you gaslighted me. You tried to say I was crazy. And now we know that that's not true. And there's a lot of other issues I've been asking about as well.
All of those people you just saw, they all had to comply with a federal subpoena last year, right about this time. It was on August 27th of last year. The FBI served them a subpoena. They have all that, had their phones searched, but it hasn't slowed them down. And that's okay, because neither are the FBI slowing down, or the U.S. Attorney's Office. This is incredible stuff. So much stuff to tell you. I can't even keep up with it all. You talk about a watchdog alert. This was a watchdog alert if there ever was one. Do you know on Thursday morning, on the table in Panama City Beach at the city council meeting is an ad valorem tax. Panama City Beach and Panama City, they are like the only two cities in all of Florida, 412 cities, that do not have an ad valorem property tax. Now, that could change. Bernie, what are you talking about? It's a scare tactic. Look, I'm telling you what they're saying, okay? I'm going to show you what they're saying. I can already see the meeting on Thursday morning. By the way, the meeting's on Thursday morning at 9 o'clock. They're talking about putting an ad valorem tax on your property. 20,000 property owners, I think they said. Is that right? Was it 20,000 or 10,000? I think it's 20,000 property owners in Panama City Beach. And they're having a meeting at 9 a.m. You wouldn't believe all the boxes they're trying to check. And it's all because of a slush fund. They say it's to improve the stormwater problems that they created. But it's really about establishing another slush fund, since they've burned through the TDC slush fund. Do you know that Mark Sheldon, the mayor, old money mover Mark Sheldon, he gets more than $1 million a year from the Tourist Development Council. More than $1 million a year for his companies that run Gulf Coast Jam and Sand Jam. Now, imagine the kickbacks. I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing. He's also either owns or is a manager of about 24 LLCs. He's got holding companies. His associates have holding companies. You talk about money mover Mark. See, they've burned through the TDC slush fund. And all over these United States, you have corrupt local politicians rubbing their hands together, excited as all get out, to create another slush fund, stormwater. Oh, it's going to be a doozy. But they're going to continue to make things worse until you cry and plead for stormwater improvement, because things keep getting flooded. We need stormwater improvement, but that's not what this is really about. I'll tell you, I'll show it to you in just a moment.
At Salling Law, we only handle criminal cases. After all, you don't call a knee doctor to work on your back. We gain your trust by telling you the truth up front. If you're facing criminal charges, call my office today at 850-215-0628.
All right, here we go. Why don't we go to Facebook first? And I just cannot believe All the property owners that don't know what's coming. Now, are they going to pass an ad valorem tax? I don't think so. But it's on the table. I'll prove it to you. They sent a notice out to 20,000 property owners. And what they say is, if you don't accept another assessment, which is a tax by another name, then you're going to get an ad valorem tax. And they found a way to do it. For those of you who say they can't do it because the city charter says that the voters have to vote for an ad valorem tax. Hey, Bernie, dummy, they can't do it. The city charter is like the Constitution for the city. Well, in 2018, the state passed a statute that supersedes any city's charter. See, it's called the Rules of Construction. In legal terms, what it means is this. It means that which is created, like cities and counties, are not more powerful than the creator, the state. By the way, that applies as well to the federal government. I don't want to go there. We don't have time. But the states created the federal government. And the federal government is not the boss of the states any more than the cities are the bosses of the state. All right, so let's go to what should I show you first? I'll show you the post I posted, and I'll explain it to you. All right, so we're going to look at my Facebook page and the post that shows you what I'm talking about. So here we are, and if you haven't liked it already and followed it, I hope that you will, because I promise you're not going to get this information from news outlets. All right, here is part of what was mailed out to all the property owners. Let's look at where it says there are roughly 20,000 property owners. This is the notice that you received if you're a PCB property owner. There are roughly 20,000 property owners and even more concerned residents in the city. Now, you're going to accept a new tax, a new burden, and new liability. You're going to do that, or else we're going to cut your services. And what we expect out of you, I'm not joking, what we expect out of you is your kind, good-natured, and cooperative conduct. That's what it says. Look, your kind, good-natured, and cooperative conduct is appreciated. Now, isn't that rich? Coming from people like Jeff McConnell, the vice mayor, who had an epic meltdown last week. These are the people instructing you to smile when they burden you. And allows for all to be heard in an orderly fashion. Next, the fundamental decision on how to substantially fund this part of the city's budget can be made after this public hearing by the council. It's a mere formality. Their decision has been made. They're going to dig underneath the Gulf and put a gigantic pipe and run stormwater from upland into the Gulf. That's what they're going to do. That's the new slush fund. God, this is unbelievable. The most straightforward summary of the choices presented to City Council are, number one, adopt the non-ad valorem assessments as proposed. In other words, an assessment is a tax by another name. It's simply they tax you, but they can only spend that money on that thing. All right, that's what an assessment is, as though they can't move money around elsewhere. Number two, they can begin the process to impose property taxes, ad valorem taxes, for the first time in the city's history. Number three, if you don't like those choices, they can just cut your services, pal, and capital expenditures. These are not mutually exclusive. They can do whatever the hell they want to do, is what they're telling you. Yep. Thank you kindly for your review. Now, you only have until tomorrow to voice your opinion via email. Notice in the letter, the council members and the mayor, they didn't give their email addresses, but that's okay. You can send one email address. Here it is. You can send one email address to, I'm going to give it to you right here. You might want to write this down because they count them. And if this goes to court later on, it's important. I've been in court with these people like 3 separate times. So how many people said no to this? Officially and on record, even a simple email, specifically said no to this. How many people showed up and voiced their opinions? You know what they like to say to judges? Only 3 people came, so the public really didn't care. They trust us. They elected us to do what's best for the city, moving forward, better together. So here is the address to Panama City Beach, to the public affairs lady, Debbie Ward. It's debbie.ward@pcbfl.gov. So if you want to write that down in the comment section, somebody, or now when you write the email, you should put subject line, I don't know, assessment, stormwater assessment, ad valorem tax, that type of thing. And I recommend that you are specific right here, right? These are the 3 options, and it's on my Facebook page if you want to see it. Are you in support or do you oppose the new stormwater assessments to run that pipe underneath? They got to break up the rocks under the seabed of the Gulf of Mexico and pump stormwater out there. All right. Number 2, are you in favor or do you oppose the city imposing ad valorem taxes, property taxes for the first time? Be specific in your email. Or do you support or oppose each one? Do 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm sorry. Let me, it's maddening how crooked these people are. Here's the meeting, by the way. It's Thursday morning at 9 a.m., and that's the address. It's on the corner of Back Beach Road, Panama City Beach Parkway, and Highway 79. It's kind of on the corner of that, the south west corner. All right, so let me share with you the specifics, though. Let's get out of here. Let me think here. All right, so let's take a look at what I wrote, because this will break down exactly what they're up to. And it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. So I posted this 2 hours ago. Panama City Beach Council threatens new ad valorem taxes unless residents accept a new stormwater assessment. And that's going to be this Thursday morning is when that's going to be. I'm going to tell you about that in specific detail in just a moment. Let me share with you. If you've got a honey-do list, you know who to call, right? Call Paul. If you've got a honey-do list or you need some work done around the home or office, call Paul, PCB. He's licensed, insured, and he's a friend of mine. So 20,000 property owners in Panama City Beach were mailed a notice with these 3 options. Number 1, accept the new stormwater assessment or begin paying ad valorem taxes, or you can just lose services that are currently being provided by the city. Those are your choices, and they're not mutually exclusive. They can mix and match and do whatever they want to do, okay? At the meeting this Thursday at 9 a.m., the council will also vote again on the fire service assessment and the CRA assessment. When these people ran for office, did they run for office saying they were going to burden you and tax you, put liens on your property and harass you? Or did they run and say that they're going to restore public trust? I know a lot of you who supported these people, and you knew they were liars, but you thought they were your liars. Don't you know that they are whores, that they will go to the highest bidder, and now they're getting offered a hell of a lot more to do these things? And a lot of you are shocked that they would ever do this to you. Tried to tell you. Oh, I'll still help you because it's the right thing to do. And some of them, I predict, are going to be indicted, and they're going to go to prison over a lot of this stuff. And not just elected officials. Well, judges are also elected officials. They're having their local judges are having their finances reviewed by the FBI. They're having their families' finances reviewed by the FBI. They're having their business interests weighed against their court decisions in Bay County. This is all happening. It takes time, but it's happening. The council, the Panama City Beach City Council, is hell-bent on spending $20 million to send stormwater from upland through a bunch of pipes into a giant underground pipe into the Gulf of Mexico, about 1,000, maybe 1,500 feet out. Their own consultants say that the massive stormwater dump would create a dead zone in the Gulf. That's what they said in a meeting. And not a single member of the council said, well, that's alarming. And to be fair, neither did any of you. The council voted to give the consultants more than $1 million earlier this year. And another consultant, a federal consultant, to go to the Congress. Yeah, Capitol Hill Consulting, which is where former Congressman Steve Sutherland works. That's his firm, Capitol Hill Consulting. $1 million here, $1 million there. Imagine the kickbacks. The consultants also said that Panama City Beach, you ready for this? To dig under the seabed of the Gulf and put a giant pipe to run stormwater. They said this year in a meeting that PCB will be the guinea pig of the Gulf of Mexico, because this would be the first time such a project has ever been conducted in the Gulf, in any Gulf that I know of. Previously, the council had no authority to implement an ad valorem tax, by the way, something that they said in their notice that they might have to do. They had no authority, but in just 3 years ago, in 2018, Florida Statute 195.207 was created, allowing the city to override its own charter that prohibits ad valorem taxes unless PCB voters approved it. They don't have to do that anymore. The charter, the city charter that prohibits ad valorem taxes, is that part of the charter is null and void now. How about that? Now each member of the council, every one of them, they're using their newfound authority as a threat against property owners unless they accept the new stormwater assessment. They're so hell-bent, all the cities, Lynn Haven, the county, Panama City, that they're having secret meetings. You'll have the county commission meeting in secret places with Arthur Cullen and others talking about stormwater. Yeah, I know it's a violation of Sunshine Law when more than one member of the same board, but you do have more than one member of the same board. Sometimes you have all the county commissioners sitting around after official meetings, and they say they don't talk about these things, but they do. It's Arthur Cullen's job, Alex Cantone, it is his job to network, to bring the cities together and the county together so they all sing on the same sheet of music so that they get the federal funding, the state funding, and your ad valorem tax money or assessment against your home. Do you know this? Maybe I'll show it to you in a minute. They're having secret meetings about this stuff. They're probably sitting around doing rain dances, trying to make more flooding, so that you will beg them to please do anything, fix the stormwater. What I'm trying to tell you is that they will take it from you and they still won't fix your stormwater. Here's why. The city's notice even instructs property owners to accept the added burden with a smile. It says your kind, good-natured, and cooperative conduct is appreciated. That's what Jeff McConnell and them are saying to us. I know it's crazy. Normally, stormwater is collected and treated in retention ponds, but the St. Joe Company doesn't want that. Water management experts warn that removing rainwater from upland soil and diverting it to the Gulf would have dire ecological consequences. For example, think about it. Without absorbing that natural rainwater upland, the soil will begin to experience saltwater intrusion, right? As the rainwater no longer goes down there, it doesn't just dry up and become empty. It will start to absorb the saltwater, so it's saltwater intrusion. And this will have severe effects on wildlife and on the wells that currently provide fresh water. Tomorrow, again, is the last day that you can email the city to make your voice heard before the council votes on Thursday morning. I'll do another show tomorrow, but I wanted you to be able to, if you want to put in your schedule to show up, or if 200 people emailed debbie.ward@pcbfl.gov and said, we oppose options 1, 2, and 3. Remember, option 1 is adopt the non-ad valorem assessments. Number 2, begin the process of ad valorem taxes in Panama City Beach. Or number 3, just cut services. Which of those do you prefer? Or do you oppose them all? If they were to get 200 emails and if 50 people showed up and said no to it, I don't think they could succeed. But my experience has been that people will type in capital letters on Facebook, perhaps. But that's probably going to be about it. All right, so let me see what you all are saying. Oh, let's see. Wow. Ryan says, wow. No, what? Okay, so what I'm saying is after Florida is a state, when they designate counties, right? It's just like the best example I have, because I'm most familiar with it, Ryan, is the states created the federal government. There was Articles of Confederation before that. But the Constitution was created as a compact among the states. And so the states only delegated certain authorities, right? And so the federal government is not the boss of the states on every matter. I think it's the best similar example I can give you. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. That's one way you can support me. Patreon.com. I'll put a thing up there. And some of you I've gotten some new ones, and I see you, and I'm going to thank you. There, by the way, it's anonymous and it's easy, and post the address. Okay, I will. There it is. Debbie.ward@pcbfl.gov. All right, I'm getting a little too ahead of myself. All right. Oh, Janice Hatcher's going to be there. It's going to be like old times, Janice, if you show up. They hate when Janice Hatcher shows up. She pays more in property taxes in Panama City Beach than most of these people probably make legitimately. Without the kickbacks is what I'm saying. All right. All right. I want to show you. Oh my gosh. All right. So let me do this. Let me show you the agenda. Okay. For the meeting. You want to see how much they're going to do in order to pass these new assessments, which are going to cost property owners so much money in Panama City Beach, or the Ad Valorem Tax, whichever one they decide on. But in order to do that, they have to check a bunch of boxes. They have to do a bunch of legal things first. So let's take a look at what they're going to be doing on the agenda. You're not going to believe this. All right, here we are. This is the city's website. It's pcb.gov or pcbfl.gov. All right, you see that? pcbfl.gov. So you just go there, you click on meetings and agendas, click on agenda, and here we have it. Look at what they're going to do. Thursday at 9 a.m. Oh my goodness. Let's get down to the stuff here. Gosh, these are resolutions. Here we go. Regular agenda. Wow. A comprehensive plan to update private property rights. Why do you think they're going to update private property rights? Because when you don't pay your assessments and your taxes, they're going to take your property. And there's a lot of other reasons too. Eminent domain, and all the other wicked plans that they scheme when you're not looking to do to you. Look at this. Establishing the procedures for stormwater management assessments. Second reading. Public hearing. They could pass it. They will pass it. Annual fire service assessment. Wow, none of these people ran on raising your taxes and burdening you, did they? Look at this. Annual stormwater management assessment. This is all the stuff that they're going to be doing to you on Thursday morning. So that is the agenda, package. And you can see it by going to PCB, PCBFL.gov. PCBFL.gov. Now, I'm going to show you something I did a year ago, and it's really come back. This may end up being the most important video I ever did because it shows how incestuous, how truly incestuous these people are, and at what lengths they'll go through to enrich each other as they steal from you. I'm going to show you this short video that I created right after this. It's a hot time in Florida, and my friend Ryan could make sure your air conditioning is running at peak efficiency. He could even install a new one, built to a higher standard, American standard. Find out more at PCAirrepair.com. Okay, are you familiar with the PCB Sports Complex? You want to know how they came about creating the PCB Sports Complex? Oh my gosh. I don't want to confuse the issue, but let me show you how they went about doing that. Listen close to this. Local government bodies work together to build this sports park. There are baseball fields and soccer fields where a forest used to be. The project was so expensive, they had to get $50 million in bonds. And to secure a better interest rate, the Bay County Commission had to sue you. In 2017, Judge James Fensom issued an order to validate the $50 million bonds. And now, for the first time, you're going to see how the racket was played, the conflicts of interest, and who got the big contracts. The county filed the lawsuit to improve the creditworthiness of the bonds and to seek a lower interest rate. As shocking as it sounds for the county to sue us, they say it's commonplace throughout the state. That's true for larger communities like Orange County, but the attorney Bay County hired to file the lawsuit against us said he can't remember it being done for the past 25 years in the Panhandle. Bay County manager Bob Micah said it's never been done before in Bay County. The idea for a sports complex was floated by local attorney William Harrison, who was the county commission's paid lobbyist. In 2015, county manager Bob Micah paid a former St. Joe executive named Jerry Ray and William Harrison $99,000 to rebrand the area as spring break was being dismantled. William Harrison fancies himself a local kingmaker. In 2016, he was the campaign manager for Mike Thomas, who became the mayor of Panama City Beach for 4 years. William Harrison was also the lobbyist for the St. Joe Company. St. Joe donated the swampy land for the sports complex to Bay County in 2014. Bay County turned around and rented that land to the PCB Convention and Visitors Bureau for $1 a year for 99 years. The CVB is governed by the Tourist Development Council. The president of the TDC is this man, Dan Rowe, and he's been pushing for the sports complex for quite a while. After the sports complex was approved, they needed a project manager. Commissioner Robert Carroll was a qualified candidate in 2016.
I believe we should get value out of government. I'm a civil engineer, not a politician. I design solutions to problems like transportation, utility, and infrastructure. I'll bring that expertise to the county commission, helping us plan better, grow smarter, and build a better Bay County.
He's part of the project management team selected by the TDC. He's vice president of McNeil Carroll Engineering. He was hired by Brittany Trumbull, who is married to State Representative Jay Trumbull. She owns Anchor CEI. The TDC unanimously voted to award Anchor CEI the big project management contract over the more experienced Reliant South owned by Richard Dodd. Even though her company was less than a year old, Robert Carroll assured the TDC that they had 75 years worth of experience. Members of the TDC like Robert Carroll. In fact, they like him so much that some of them made max donations to his political campaign the following week. Walsingham gave $1,000. Griffiths gave $500 the same day Walsingham did. Petronas gave $500. Robert Carroll also got more political contributions from the usual suspects who would be involved in the sports complex. The St. Joe Company gave $1,000. Their lobbyist, William Harrison, gave $1,000. James Finch, $1,000. Of course, GAC gave $1,000, as did their owners.
Derwin White's personal attorney, Adam Albritton, gave $500. He's also the city attorney in Lynn Haven. The list goes on and on. Back in 2016, John Henderson was the beat reporter for the News Herald. He was surprised how incestuous everything was. He wondered how these conflicts of interest would play out. He even tweeted about it. But News Herald editor Mike Kaz-Kazales would not let him cover it. Other than me, the local news outlets ignored it completely. I was so concerned at the time that I dubbed Robert Carroll the conflict of interest candidate. And he wasn't happy about it. In fact, he was mad at me. His campaign manager, Arthur Cullen, told me that I was being unfair because Robert Carroll wouldn't vote on anything his company was involved in. Well, he has, and he continues to do so. During the bid process, Mrs. Trumbull's company told the TDC that they had unique funding access. She was right. Even at her office, she doesn't have far to walk to lobby her state representative. Her husband actually filed a House bill in 2017 seeking taxpayer money for the water system at the sports complex. It ended up dying in committee, but Trumbull filed the bill after his wife's company lobbied him to do so. Next, I'll tell you the rest of the story, including how State Senator George Gaynor, Lynn Haven attorney Adam Albritton, and former PCB city manager Mario Gisbert were all involved to make this racket a reality. There we go. Turn the mic on. I did it again. I knew, but at least I caught it this time. Jeez. What I was saying was, I like Janice's comment the best. That's what I was saying. The meeting is going to be this Thursday, 9 a.m. And they're going to be voting on stuff that will affect your life in a big way. And they're going to get all of the news media outlets who are their public-private partners who get paid by Mayor Mark Sheldon through his companies that run Sand Jam and Gulf Coast Jam that get more than $1 million a year from the Tourist Development Council. They're public-private partners, and they just are like PR machines for what the politicians are doing for the big developers. That's the racket. The good news is the feds are all over them. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean this. I wouldn't be surprised when the dust settles after the federal investigation if this ends up being the biggest local public corruption bust in the history of these United States. It's that big. It's multi-state. It involves people that you're going to be shocked. Shocked. Big people too, not just here. All right. I'm going to keep telling you the truth the best that I can, as hard as it is. And I sure hope that you will link arms with me. The only reason I can do it is because I don't work for the outlets. I used to work for Talk Radio 101, and I got fired after 8.5 years for telling you the truth. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I would not have it any other way, because I'm damn sure not going to lie to you.
I don't care what they give me. So if you'd like to support my efforts, here's how you can do it. That's how I survive. You can become a patron at patreon.com/Bernie Thompson. It is anonymous. It's easy, and you can quit at any time. And thank you so much for those of you who did become patrons recently. I saw you, and I can't wait to thank you. I just don't want to out you sometimes. Okay. And to the rest of you, it's much needed. And I don't say that enough. I know I don't. Also, if you know something crooked that's going on, here's how you can get it to me. No, that's not the one. I don't want you using that email. Let's see if I've got the right. Here it is. Here's the right email. This is the email I want you to use because they can't get into it. Okay. Bernie Thompson at protonmail.com. It's the same one that Project Veritas uses. If you know of local public corruption and you want me to know about it, I can't often jump out here or over here, even though it's worth it because I'm so focused, right? I'm walking a tightrope with no net, keeping the ship floating here, but I can only be effective if I'm laser focused. And so if you know of something or you have information about any of this kind of stuff, send it to me right there, Bernie Thompson at protonmail.com. Super, super important. All right, I guess that's, one last thing. This also airs on YouTube Live, and it's probably best afterward to watch it on YouTube. Somebody told me, I like watching it later, but your words don't match, right? Well, that's a Facebook issue, I believe. YouTube is much better. Much, much better. You can watch it on YouTube, and while you're there, if you would subscribe, I'd be thrilled. I'd be absolutely thrilled about it because I haven't taken YouTube seriously enough, and now I'm trying to build it up a little bit. All right. I'll see you again tomorrow. It's going to be a busy week. I have my ears pinned back because Thursday is going to be something at 9 a.m. Make sure you send the email and voice your opinion about those three options. Here's who you send it to right there, debbie.ward@pcbfl.gov. If they only get a smattering of emails, if they only get a smattering of emails and very few people show up, you're going to get stuck with one day. You're going to get stuck with an ad valorem tax and all the assessments because they don't give a flip. They really don't. And when you go there in person, you actually see what I'm talking about. So that's who you send the email to. All right. I think that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for being with me, and I'll see you tomorrow.
You want to look good? You want to feel good? Little John's Big and Tall is where it's at. Right across the street from Sky's Pizza Pie, 5700 North Davis Highway. You can find out more online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com. He's also a member of the iTex trading community, where your iTex dollars are welcome.